death like the other ladies did. So anyway, as you know, I'm Jenn. I am the regional coordinator for Silent No More, and have recently taken over as managing director of the Eugene Springfield Right to Life. So it's been a very big honor. But I'm having to fill some huge shoes. Jenn retired out, and so hopefully we will continue to bring some new ideas to the table and new events. I really appreciate that Deb Tilden and Linda Deutsch were both here to speak. And as they said, we did not speak with one another on what we were going to talk about. So the very good thing is with Silent No More, right now this month, we're launching a new campaign. And it's called Healing the Shockwaves of Abortion. And what it is each month we will be focusing on a certain aspect of who is affected by an abortion. The abortion incident is like that chip in the windshield. You know it's going to feather out and crack eventually, but we want to stop that feathering out effect and heal those around the abortion. So each month will be a different topic. This month is focusing on the pastors and the churches. Right now, our pastors and churches are doing their right to life, since this is the 42nd anniversary of Roe v. Wade, and I will make all of you feel old, because I was 3 years old when that happened. But I heard all the rhetoric from Planned Parenthood, and at the age of 16 and a half, I was gang raped by my boyfriend and his friends at a party. I was drunk and had been using drugs, so of course it was my fault that it happened, and I got pregnant. Ended up at a pregnancy, Planned Parenthood, and they showed me a video of this girl running free, and then agrees that after my abortion, I'm going to be lifted and my spirit's going to be fine. Well, what happened is a huge shockwave in my life. A month later, found out I was still pregnant. They missed the twin. And at that stage, they weren't doing return abortions. It was not legal to do so. So I had to have a baby. I put Jess up for adoption, and I'm very proud that I made that decision to do so. She went to a fantastic family. In my 20s, I got cervical and ovarian cancer because of the botched abortion. So at the age of 26, I had a total hysterectomy. I could no longer have children. I'm very fortunate that I met my husband in high school. He's here tonight. It's the first time he's hearing me speak, so I'm kind of nervous. But
you're doing fine.
Thank you. He is my rock and my stone, and my biggest champion. He didn't know when we started dating about the abortion. I actually told him about it after we were married and I was pregnant with our daughter. And at that time, there was that stigma of, okay, how shame on you. I wasn't in my church any longer, and I felt very lost. And talking about the shockwaves and the different aspects of it, how it affects not just the woman, it affects the men. I mean, how arrogant is it for us women to say that this is my body, my choice? Well, there's another aspect that a man has to be there as well. Why don't they get to have a say in what happens to this child? And it's very arrogant of women out there and the Planned Parenthood that is saying, well, it's your body, your choice. Well, other people have to have access to that decision. Now, with shockwaves, of course, this is now healing the after effects. I know that after my abortion, it affected my children. They had a lost sibling. And then they knew that they had a sibling that had been put up for adoption, that they never got to meet. I did send a letter to the adoption agency One day I was sick after having back surgery and in bed, and my husband brought me the mail, and I opened up this card and these pictures fell out, and I'm like, what the heck? And he picks them up and he just started smiling. And I'm like, what is this? And I read, and it was a letter from my daughter.
Wow.
And she got in contact with me, and so I was blessed to know her for about 2.5 years, 3 years. She became pregnant, and in her 5th month lost her first child. In the second pregnancy, what they didn't realize is she had severe endometriosis and scar tissue. So the baby, instead of attaching to the uterus, attached to the scar tissue. And when she went into labor with my granddaughter, I lost her and the baby. And that will be, at the end of March, will be 3 years ago that I lost her. When that happened, I felt, well, there's my last punishment for having my abortion. God is striking me now. And I know that was just my conscience, I knew in my heart that was not the truth. But there are women out there that have those feelings. They're seeing all these negative connotations that you're a murderer and how dare you do that. And what we need to be doing is changing hearts and minds with love and kindness. Because they see us out there holding these signs. I would rather see signs like these that we have than mutilated children on the side, because then it's another just slap on me that I've done something so horribly wrong. These women need hope, they need forgiveness, they need to know that that child is with God and that it's okay, there's life after an abortion. So like I said, January we'll be focusing on the churches, the pastors. I'm going to be talking to the churches and pastors around the area on how we can get healing programs into there and get women talking about it. There are churches that don't want to talk about it, and we need to have our pastors talking about it. That's why people go to church, is to hear the positive message that there's hope and forgiveness. February is Black History Month. As many of you know, 99% of Planned Parenthoods are placed in the poorest of area. And, we are in a situation where we have African American people saying we're being slaughtered by whites. What they don't realize is that 49% of them are being slaughtered more by Planned Parenthood than anybody else. They are slaughtering their children on a daily basis. And we need to stop this. We need to tell them the truth. March is healing the grandparents. When a woman finally comes out of the closet, I like to say, about her abortion, it affects the parents. I was terrified to tell my husband's parents when I decided I was going to be a speaker, but I knew they needed to hear it from me and not find it out in the paper. So I went to them and I felt so guilty. I felt so guilty that I had to tell them this. But all I know is that they loved me anyway. So, but they're affected. This was their grandbaby that they didn't get to see, didn't get to hold, didn't get to see raised. And we need to be healing with them. The siblings. My children grew up knowing about my abortion. But I can tell you to this day, my daughter is hurting from it. She hasn't spoken to my husband or myself for a year almost because she doesn't know what to do with her feelings about the abortion and the things that I'm doing. Having a sibling out there and knowing that, I have the nerve to murder one of your siblings, it's got to be a hard and harsh reality. May and June. May, obviously, is Mother's Day, so we focus on the mothers. June, Father's Day. Fathers regret lost father.